the Lexy Show Fashion That Gives a Damn, where we expose fast fashion and celebrate the brands and products actually making a difference for our planet. I'm Lexi Silverstein, and today I'm talking with Claire Ring, founder of Cocoplum, turning old pill bottles into sunglasses you'll actually want to wear. If you're new here, head to lexisilverstein.com for information on sustainable fashion and eco-conscious living. And if you love what you hear, subscribe and share this episode. It helps more than you think. Can you explain the concept behind Cocoplum and where it came from?
Yeah, so basically, I collect prescription pill bottles like these. Oh, can you
Literally
see
have one.
them?
Me too.
Yeah, yeah. And I recycle them into sunglasses like these. And the whole idea started back in 2020 during COVID when I was just at home all the time, and it was really hard to ignore how much plastic waste my household was going through. And I just remember like we had this blue recycling bin in our kitchen, and I would just watch it fill up day after day, even as somebody who was really trying to reduce that. And yeah, one day I just was like looking at it and I was like, it's so crazy. And I knew most of it wasn't being recycled. And I just was like, I'm going to make something with plastic waste. I like put a little note in my phone, make something with plastic waste. And at that time, I didn't know what it would be or where I would get the plastic from, but eventually it led to making sunglasses out of pill bottles.
That is so cool. So what makes pill bottles such a unique material to work with?
Yeah, so I decided to work with pill bottles for three reasons. One, they aren't normally recycled. And I didn't know this when I first came across them, but if you put them in your recycling bin, they most likely don't get recycled. Less than 5% of them do. And that's because of the size and the type of plastic they're made of, but mostly they're too small for the sorting machines at recycling facilities.
Mm.
So that was a big thing. They're not recycled. Number two, there's so many of them. If you take all of the pill bottles that Americans go through in 1 year and line them up, it's enough to circle the earth 5 times, and that's just in 1 year. So it's a huge waste stream. And lastly, I didn't want to use something like water bottles or straws or I don't know, things that like you can avoid and we should
Mhm.
be avoiding. For people who take medications regularly, these bottles are the only option and you can't avoid them really. So I know people appreciate at least having a way to recycle them.
No, completely. I think it's just so cool because it's an item that you don't always think about. We're talking a lot about our single-use plastics a lot more recently, and we talk in that aspect, in that realm of things. We talk about like the recycling our single-use water bottles and stuff like that. But pill bottles is not something that I think that we're talking about enough, and I
Yeah,
think
and it's
that's
something that
so cool.
everybody like can picture. Like everybody
Yeah.
knows those little orange bottles.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And it's again, like you were saying, like it's something that we can't always avoid getting if you need a
Yeah, there's not
prescription.
another alternative.
Yeah, that
Sadly,
is
I wish
so
there were.
cool. I love it. So people can send in pill bottles or old Cocoa Plum sunglasses to be recycled. Can you talk about how this process kind of works?
Yeah, so I do take back the sunglasses at the end of their life. When anybody decides they're through with them, I take them back and recycle them into new products. And then anyone can also donate their pill bottles. I have some drop-off locations all over the country. I think I have 10 set up right now. So you can go on my website and in the frequently asked questions, it lists all of those locations. And if anybody wants to donate them and doesn't live near one, they can ship them to me. I just ask that they collect a minimum of 20 bottles,
Mm.
and then the labels need to be completely removed
Mm.
and the lids removed because right now I'm only recycling the bottles. I'm not able to use the lids, but that may change. And yeah, and then once I receive them, I email that person a discount code for 20% off as a thank you.
That's awesome. So how do the bottles then become the sunglasses?
So I sort them by color and by how clean they are. Sometimes I need to clean them a little bit more. Then I take them to a place called Peninsula Precious Plastic. I shred them and then I make sunglasses with a process called injection molding, which basically means the plastic gets melted and then injected into molds that shapes them into sunglasses.
That is so cool. I love this. Such a I just can't even, I'm like looking at this pill bottle next to me and I'm like, this becoming a sunglass is so cool.
Thank
Like
you.
how brilliant of an idea. And I think a lot more of what we need to be doing is thinking, like looking at these things around us and before we throw something out, like seeing what we can do with it to avoid and just using more of what's already out there.
Totally.
That's
Yeah.
so cool. So if you do you ever need to source the bottles outside of what people send you? And if so, where do you do the sourcing?
So far, no. I've actually had to turn down organizations have reached out to me, like some pharmacies and nursing homes and churches, and I've had to say no to that because I just don't want to get overwhelmed with the pill bottles.
Mhm.
So right now I'm prioritizing individual donations, and that has been plenty. It's like the right amount. And sure, if the time comes that I need to source them, I could partner with one pharmacy and
Mhm.
get plenty of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did recently though. So 99% of the bottles that come to me are this orange color, but there are different colors. There's this blue and
Ooh.
green. Oop.
Ooh.
And recently I ran out of green. So I'm considering reaching out to those come from vet offices. So I
I
might
was
reach
gonna
out.
say, I think
Yeah.
I for my dog, I think I have some blue ones.
Oh, send them my way.
I
Yeah.
will.
So I might have to like come up with a way to source the green and maybe blue. And I think I'll just reach out to a veterinarian.
That's so cool. I love that. Do you think maybe a goal in the future is to be able to maybe scale to taking on some of those
Oh,
bigger?
totally. Yeah, I
Yeah.
would love that. Right
Yeah.
now, it's just me though, and I have plenty, more than enough, really.
Yeah. Again, it's something that we might not even realize that we have it. I feel like I have like pill bottles from
Oh my God, I hear that every
yeah.
day. I get emails every day from people who want to, because that's how people get started. If anybody wants to send me their pill bottles, I ask that they send me an email to hello@cocoplumco.com. And I read that all the time in people's emails. I've been saving pill bottles for 10 years. I just never knew what to do with them. Can I send them to you? And yeah, it's a thing people do.
I love that. I just think we need to be thinking more creatively. If everyone just looked at like the things around us and was like, I could turn this into this. I was watching this another kind of like example, and it was like a DIY. And there's this girl, and she like has all these wine bottles, and she turned them into like cups just using like a glass cutter. And I was like,
Yeah.
this is the innovation I like to see, guys. Like,
I've seen those. I love that. That's
just
so
keep
cool.
thinking outside the box. And there's so many things. I'm just like looking around my apartment now, and I'm like, there's so many things that when I'm done with them, like I'm just usually would just throw them out, but I've been really rethinking my trash. Like every time I stick something in the trash, I'm like, what else
See
can I do
something.
with
Yeah,
this? And I mean, it's
good.
like becoming a problem because I have so many little jars now. Like I don't even know what I'm gonna do with them, but I'm gonna do something. Like
I love that.
yeah. So you have some new sunglasses available. Can you explain what's new with this launch?
Yeah, when I first had this idea, my plan was to make the sunglasses in my garage, and I had this whole setup for that. I had a small manual machine built and molds made for that machine. And for literally 4 years, I made sunglasses and I was selling them, but it was so slow. I would work all day and like maybe have one pair of sunglasses to show for it at the end of the day. So I think like March of last year, I was like, I need to change something. I need to speed this up somehow. So I decided to do a Kickstarter to raise money to make molds that would work with an industrial machine, like with a manufacturer. So I'm no longer trying to make them in my garage. So my goal was like it was $15,000 and it was funded. And so for the past 9 months or so, I've been making these new molds and they were just completed recently. So it's for two molds. To make a pair of sunglasses, you need one mold for the temples and then
Mm,
one mold for the frames. So they were just completed and we are in the process of making a bunch of sunglasses with those molds. So that's what the new sunglasses are.
that's so cool. It's so amazing to see like how when you start a company and start a business, like the growth and changes that happen and the way we adapt when
Yeah,
growing.
it was hard because I had put so much into that setup in my garage. Like I built a machine for it and these molds that were not cheap. And I basically had to just like scrap all of that and start all over. So that's why it probably took me 4 years to come to that decision. But here we are, it worked
Here
out.
we are.
And a
That.
lot of learning.
Yeah, it's all part of the journey.
Exactly, yeah.
That's so cool. So what about the actual, I don't know what you would call the
Lens,
lenses?
yeah, lenses.
Are those, what are those? Are those just like normal lenses?
Yeah, so you can't use recycled plastic for lenses because of regulations, but I did source the most sustainable lenses I could. They're Zeiss. They're made in a factory that uses like recycled water and solar power. So they're their sustainable line and they're very high quality, 100% UVA, UVB protection, scratch resistant. So they're great lenses. I wish I could use recycled plastic to make them, but they have to be like shatterproof and
Yeah.
perfectly clear, and that's hard to do with recycled plastic.
Yeah, still, we got the best option out there. And I think that that's so important because I think we'll see a lot of things nowadays where it's not necessarily greenwashing all the time, but I always bring up this example. But I saw a commercial and it's like a razor made out of recycled plastic, but then it came in like a fully plastic
Oh, I hate
container.
that.
And
Yeah,
I was like, girl, what are we doing?
I
Like,
know that is so frustrating. I have put a ton of like time and I use no plastic in my packaging.
that's me.
Yeah, that's very frustrating when that happens.
Yeah, but I think it's really cool that we're seeing a lot more like innovation again where it comes to these like smaller things that we don't necessarily always think about. Like I've been noticing a lot of the tags on our clothes, a lot of
Made from recycled materials.
yeah, and I'm like that's so cool because I would never really think about necessarily the tag or like things like that, or even the like little small package that comes in things that is filled with something, and you're always like, what is the point of this? And I saw a company that like did that sustainably, and I was like, that's so interesting because I every time I look at this little packet that like comes in like my food packages, or I don't even know, I'm like, what is the point of this? Like I always just throw this out. Um,
Yeah,
but to be able to produce that where it's okay, it's going to get thrown out, but at least let's make it a sustainable thing. Like I just love seeing that innovation. It's so
I
cool.
know. And I'm seeing it more and more on anything I buy. It's like made from 50% recycled
Yeah,
material or whatever. And I just love it. It's
I
a
love to see it. Let's get sustainability more accessible. Let's get it out there. Let's talk about it more. Let's see what else we can turn into other things. So on that note, you've made a variety of items from sunglasses to also ornaments to coasters as well. So like
yeah.
why these items and how does the creative process kind of differ for each?
Yeah, my goal, my plan moving forward is to really just focus on sunglasses. But there was a time period when I had decided I was not going to make sunglasses the old way in my garage, but I had to wait until the new ones were ready, which they will be ready to ship in March. People can pre-order them now, but so in this time period, and people were still sending me lots of pill bottles. So I was like, I need to make something with this plastic. So during that time period, I decided to make coasters and ornaments because it's really a lot easier to make a mold for just a simple flat shape. So I have some of the coasters right here. These are the
Oh, so
coasters.
cute.
So yeah, I was just able to like quickly make a mold for that, and it helped a ton to just eat up some of that plastic while I was waiting on the new sunglasses.
That's awesome. I think that's cool where it's like, again, just using as much of that plastic waste as possible and like always finding new ways of just
Yeah.
using it.
Yeah. I mean, I was going to be buried in the sunglasses if I didn't do something with it. Buried in pill bottles.
Pill bottles.
Yeah.
Do you have all of them just like at your house now? Is that where it is?
Yeah.
Gosh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. There's like a corner in my garage where I have them organized. Thankfully, once they're shredded, it really like they shrink down a lot. So it doesn't take up a ton of space.
Was it easy to find a company that did the shredding of the plastic?
I do that. So I like clean them,
Okay, okay.
sort them, I shred them. This anybody's interested in starting a business recycling plastic, I recommend go check out Precious Plastics and see if there's anybody near you who's like working on anything. So that's how I found this near me is one called Peninsula Precious Plastics, and they just have a shredder that they let me come use. So that's where I shred the
Okay.
pill bottles.
That's okay. That's really interesting. That's cool. Now I'm like gonna go look up like
Yeah, precious plastic. It's amazing.
gonna go gonna
Where are you located?
I'm in Los Angeles, so I'm
Oh,
sure
I'm
I'm
sure. Yeah,
sure there's
there are some
something
people there.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna become more of a hoarder though because I've been keeping all of my glass bottles. I've been really crazy about that where I'm like, if it's glass, I can use it for something else and I will be using it for something else. But I feel like I throw away a good amount of plastic that I'm like, oh, I want to do something with this, but I don't know what to do. So I'm now gonna be collecting all these plastic things
Yeah.
and shredding them. It's gonna become a problem. People are gonna come over, they're like, Lexi.
Yeah. No, there's even on Precious Plastic, there's even a bazaar on there where if you do want to shred a bunch of plastic, you can then sell the shredded plastic.
Okay, cool. This is so cool. Oh my gosh, I'm obsessed with it. I've been doing because I haven't gone to it in a while, but in my area, there's like it's called Regrocery, and you could take your glass bottles and stuff and go to a grocery store and just fill up like it's instead of buying like a whole
Yeah.
new thing of detergent, you just bring a glass and you fill the detergent up in your glass. And
Is it
so
mostly food? It's mostly like a grocery store.
yeah, it's a lot
Okay.
of like rice and like spices and like
Nuts and
nuts, but then they have like dishwasher detergent and then clothing detergent.
love that. We have I don't know of any like more of a grocery store refill shop near me like that, but we have a ton of refill shops that have stuff like that, like detergents,
Mm,
shampoos, and hand soaps, but not a lot of food.
yeah.
That's cool.
That's I need to do it more consistently because I'm it's really becoming a problem. All my like random glass bottles, like they're everywhere. And I want to do it more consistently, but I think that it's really cool that it's even like an option. And I've also seen like recently there's a craft store near me that is all like people donated crafts and stuff, so you can just go instead of because I think that's a big thing where it's like we're used to going to the Michaels or the Hobby Lobby, and like those are the big chains that a lot of us know and have in our area and like whatever. But if we can, but there's just so much stuff out there, and I'm like, a lot of the crafts that I have are like the ribbon I have, and I'm looking around at crafts I have, but
Yeah.
I've gone to like estate sales and there's been a bunch of stuff there. And that was like a goal of mine in 2026 was like I want to be more crafty, but I have a tendency to start crafts and then not finish them. So I was like, I refuse to buy any new materials. If I'm doing a craft, it's going to be like using what I already have. That way, if I don't stick with it, okay, I didn't buy anything new. I'm not like wasting this material and I'm not wasting money. But I think that in my process of becoming more of a crafty person, I found that it was like a thrift store for crafts.
Yeah, I recently discovered a similar one, and I'm
Yeah.
in the Bay Area. And when I was trying to find ribbons for the ornaments that I made,
Yeah.
I was just searching everywhere and I found a place like that resells like leftover crafting supplies.
Yeah. I'm just like I just I feel like there's this commercial I keep seeing where it's like this girl and it's a dark commercial. It's about like a nicotine addiction and it's like this girl and she's like drowning in like vapes. And that's how I feel with when it comes to the stuff around me that I'm just like there. I feel like I'm drowning in clothes. I feel like we're drowning in plastic. There's just so much stuff that's already out there, and the more that we can do to reuse it is just it's like giving me a will to live. I'm like, yes,
I know. Too
do
much.
more of that.
Yeah.
So I always like to end my podcasts asking people what are their top tips for someone who's starting their journey to a more sustainable lifestyle.
You just made me think of one. Just when you're talking about all the stuff there is, something I did a couple years ago that helped me reduce so much stuff that I was like buying was cancel my Amazon Prime.
Mm.
So I don't get free shit. Like I still use Amazon, but I only get free shipping if my shopping cart has, I think it's like more than, I don't know what it is, $50 or $40. So then I just put stuff instead of just every day ordering or thing and a whatever, all this junk. I put it in my shopping cart and then I'll go back and I'll be like, oh, I don't really need that anymore. And I just end up ordering way less stuff and only stuff that I actually need. Yeah, cancel your Amazon Prime. And also I love refill shops. That's so the some of the refill shops in my area collect pill bottles for me. So I go around to them a lot and I've just fallen in love with them. So I always tell people like go on your maps and find a refill shop close to
Hmm.
you and just visit it because they have so many cool solutions for reducing waste. And they're just so fun.
Yeah, no, completely. I think that is because the first time I went to one, I don't really think I even grasped what it was or like what I could get when I was there. So I think that's a great idea of just visit it first, find
Bring
your
one
area.
empty bottle, like a hand
Yeah,
soap bottle. Just go and
just
just check out all your
go.
stuff.
Yeah, and then it's like the first time I went to, there's a few around me, but like one of the ones I went to has a lot more food, and the other one I went to has a lot more like home stuff. And so it was like, but these were things I again wasn't even necessarily thinking about. And then I went and I was like, oh, like now I know I can go there and get this piece or get this or get that. But I didn't know that I could get all
Yeah.
these things beforehand. So
Yeah. You'll
visiting
discover
is a
all kinds of fun. Yeah.
good
Love it.
first step. Yeah, thank you so much. Where can people find you on social media or buy some sunglasses or ship some pill bottles in?
Yeah. Okay. Most people find me on Instagram at Cocoplum Sunglasses. I'm also on TikTok at Cocoplum Sunglasses. My website is cocoplumco.com. And if anybody wants to donate pill bottles, they just can email hello@cocoplumco.com and I'll reply with the shipping address and all the details.
Amazing. This is so cool. Thank you so much for coming on and chatting with me. That's it for this week's episode of the Lexy Show Fashion That Gives a Damn. Big thanks to Claire Ring for showing us what circular design looks like in action. Whether it's fashion or everyday products, this is how sustainability should work. If this conversation resonated with you, subscribe so you don't miss an episode, leave a review, and share this with someone who needs to hear it. Head to LexiSilverstein.com for more content on sustainable style and conscious consumption. And follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at Lexy Silverstein. That's Lexy, silver like the color, Stein. Remember to live a good life and look fucking good doing it. And demand better from brands in your closet and everywhere else. See you next week.